Tonight, let me tell you another quiet story. A story that begins not in luxury, but in steam. A story about ramen. If you walk through almost any neighborhood in Japan, sooner or later, you will see it. A small shop. Warm light, steam rising from a pot, ramen. It feels deeply Japanese. But like many things in Japan, its story begins elsewhere. Long before ramen shops lined Tokyo's streets, wheat noodles were already traveling across Asia. In China, hand-pulled noodles had existed for centuries. They were simple, affordable, filling. When trade between China and Japan increased. During the late 19th century, something new arrived with it. Chinese-style wheat noodles, served in hot broth. At first, it was not called ramen. It was called Shina soba, Chinese soba. It was sold in port cities like Yokohama, where Chinese immigrants worked and lived. The dish was foreign, the flavor was unfamiliar, but it was comforting, and it was inexpensive. Japan changed rapidly during the Meiji era. Industrialization expanded, cities grew, factories multiplied. Workers needed food that was quick, warm, and affordable. Ramen answered that need. Street stalls began appearing at night. Small carts, coal-fired stoves, large pots of broth simmering in the dark, the sound of a wooden flute would signal their arrival. Families, laborers, students, they gathered around the steam. Ramen was not refined. It was practical. Noodles, broth, maybe a slice of pork, a sprinkle of green onion. But it filled the stomach, and in a growing city, that mattered. After World War II, Japan faced food shortages. Rice was scarce. The economy struggled. But something else was happening. The United States began exporting wheat to Japan. Wheat was cheaper and more available than rice. Small black market stalls appeared across cities. Many of them sold ramen, illegal at first, unregulated, but necessary. For many people, ramen was survival food, a hot bowl in a cold time. This is one reason ramen carries a certain emotional weight in Japan. It is not just a dish. It is memory. It is rebuilding. It is resilience. In 1958, a man named Momofuku Ando changed everything. He invented instant ramen, dried noodles, powdered soup base, ready in minutes. Suddenly, ramen moved from street stalls into homes. Students could cook it in dorm rooms. Office workers could eat it late at night. It was cheap, convenient, portable. Instant ramen spread globally. And yet, something interesting happened. Even as instant ramen became universal, real ramen shops grew more refined. Instead of replacing craftsmanship, instant ramen expanded the culture. Ramen became both mass-produced and deeply artisanal. As Japan stabilized and prospered, ramen began to evolve. Different regions developed their own styles. In Sapporo, miso ramen warmed people through snowy winters. In Hakata, tonkotsu broth simmered for hours, cloudy and rich. In Tokyo, soy sauce-based shoyu ramen became classic. In Kitakata, thick, curly noodles filled the bowl. Ramen became geography. Each bowl reflected climate, Local ingredients, regional taste. Travel through Japan, and you can taste the map. If sushi is about balance, ramen is about depth. A proper ramen broth can take hours, sometimes days. Pork bones boiled until collagen dissolves. Chicken carcasses simmered gently. Dried fish flakes steeped carefully. Layers of flavor build slowly. Shoyu, miso, or salt-based tare is added last. The broth must not be rushed, because ramen is not just noodles, it is architecture. Structure in liquid form. The noodles must match the broth. Thin noodles for lighter soup. Thicker noodles for heavier broth. Even the firmness matters. In some regions, you can request the texture. Soft, medium, firm. Ramen is customizable, but never careless. Step into a ramen shop in Japan. The space is often small, 10 seats, maybe fewer. You may order from a vending machine by the door. You sit, you wait. The chef works quickly but precisely. When the bowl arrives, it is steaming. Ramen is meant to be eaten immediately. Unlike sushi, which is quiet and measured, ramen invites sound. Slurping is acceptable, encouraged, because noodles must be eaten hot. Ramen is alive in the moment. It demands attention. In recent decades, ramen has transformed again. What began as working-class street food has become culinary obsession. Some chefs experiment with truffle oil. Others refine broth, clarity, to near transparency. Michelin-starred ramen shops exist. People wait hours in line for a bowl, and yet the essence remains the same. Noodles, broth, warmth. Ramen still welcomes everyone. Students, businessmen, travelers, locals. It does not require ceremony, only appetite. You may wonder, if ramen began in China, why does it feel so Japanese? Perhaps the answer lies in adaptation. Japan has a long history of absorbing outside influences and refining them. Tea came from China, tempura from Portugal. Ramen followed the same path. But in Japan, it became something uniquely local. It became layered, regional, philosophical. It reflects patience, craft, community. It reflects post-war rebuilding. It reflects innovation. Ramen is not ancient tradition. It is modern tradition. And that makes it powerful. If one day you visit Japan and step into a ramen shop, remember this history. Sit at the counter if you can. Watch the steam rise. Notice the rhythm of the kitchen. When your bowl arrives, pause for a moment. Inhale. The aroma carries hours of preparation. Then eat. Do not worry about slurping. It is part of the experience. Ramen is not about elegance. It is about warmth, connection, energy. It is food meant to restore you. From Chinese wheat noodles to post-war survival food, from street stalls to Michelin recognition, ramen traveled quickly through history. Faster than sushi, but no less meaningful. It teaches something different. Not restraint, but comfort. Not silence, but vitality. It reminds us that even something humble can carry resilience. And when you taste ramen in Japan, perhaps you are not only tasting broth and noodles, Perhaps you are tasting adaptation, perseverance, and the quiet strength of a country rebuilding itself. Thank you for listening. If Japan is waiting for you, may your journey be warm. And when you sit at a ramen counter someday, may you remember this quiet story. Good night.